Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Chris, and today we are going to be working on the apartment building in the back there. So as you can see, we have made it quite tall already, and I'm very happy with the height of it as it currently is. But as we get a little bit closer, you will start to notice that there's a couple holes in the walls, and there is a number of things missing from it that I want to add. And so with that being said, in today's video, we are going to completely finish the exterior of the model here. So let's just jump right in, starting with this bricklink order that I just got in the mail. All right, so I already went ahead and opened up the bag here just to kind of make sure that everything was here, and it looks like it all is, which is good to see. So basically what you'll notice is mostly just gray and dark tan. Starting with these snot bricks here, I had bought some last time, but I did not buy nearly enough. So I went ahead and I bought like another 60. So hopefully that is what's definitely going to be enough for this building, but hopefully it's enough for the next one as well. And then you will notice some rail plates in light and dark gray. This is for the train track, and then this one is for the apartment building. So that is that. And then some 2x4 tiles here in light gray, again for the apartment building. And then all of these pieces here, like the corner bricks, the 1x3 plates, the 1x1 bricks, the 1x2 tiles, and then the 2x2 tiles. And it looks like there's more corner bricks in this bag here. And then these are for something else actually. So all of that is for the apartment building, along with this right here, which has 2x4 tiles, jumpers, and a couple other things in here, like the golden metallic gold fire hats for the fire brigade, and then also these green minifig pose pieces that I've been using for flowers. So thought these were an interesting find. They were pretty cheap, so I picked up a dozen or so of them. And then also these two minifig accessories here that you put around the neck, like fur almost. And this makes for a great bird nest. I've seen it, Lego use it in sets, Bricklink Designer Program designers have used it in sets as well. And then some 1x2 dark tan tiles, just because they're good to have for the sidewalks. And then the black 1x4 tiles for the train track. While the train track is pretty much done for the current city layout, when we expand, I know I'm going to need hundreds and hundreds of them. So getting a head start on buying all of those now. But this is actually not for anything that I have talked about yet. This is for a different project. This is going to be for the support pillar out in the water for the train bridge. And so I bought 50 of them because that was seemingly enough to make one pillar. So hopefully that is actually enough. I don't have a design yet for it, but I think I want to use these. And they were like 2 or 3 cents a piece, so I'm not super worried about it at all. So this was a good find. This was a great resupply of stuff that I needed. So let me go ahead and grab the apartment building, and then we can start working on it. All right, so I brought the apartment building over to the build table here. And so as you can see, the first 2 floors look great, except for the couple missing 2x4 tiles out here and also the missing balcony. But the other floors are missing balconies too, so we will be doing that in today's video. And then also this one corner brick over on the side here. Now, when you start moving up to the 3rd and 4th floors, you will start to notice that not only am I missing the 2x4 tiles on here, but if you take these pillars off, you can start to see that I ran out of 1x1 bricks, and I ran out of corner bricks, and all of these other pieces as well. And so we need to go in and we need to fix all of that up starting right now, because there is a lot of holes in this. These rail plates are the wrong color. There aren't even rail plates in here or any of these pillars. And so we got a lot of work to do. So let me unbag all of this stuff, make sure everything is there, and then we can start working on this. All right, so I've gone through and I fixed up all of the pillars here. So they are all good now, and they're also all connected on the 4th floor here. So they all have the Technic bricks on the back. As you can see, all 4 of them are connected, so that's good. And I also filled in all of the missing 1x1 bricks as well. And so now the exterior of this is finally looking a lot better. I also fixed up pretty much everything else, so it's actually like a clean facade now. All the corner bricks are in, and I also added the 1x3 plates in as well. I think that really helps lock everything together, so that's all good. And so now what I want to do is actually, I think I'm going to lower these floors by a plate here, because I added an extra layer of plate, but I did that on all the floors. And now, as you can see, it is 3 plates taller than the pillars here. And then if I were to add another snot brick on here, it would increase the height by a lot, and they would not be level. So then you see the seam of the snot brick here does not line up with the tiles. So then it would have to get taller, and then it would just keep going. So I think actually lowering each floor by a plate would work out better, and then we can kind of take it from there. So I'm going to work on the math on that, see how that's going to work, and then hopefully that works out, and then we can try it and see how that looks. All right, so I've been pretty busy, and I had considered removing the layer of plate from each of the floors here, but I actually ended up keeping it just because it made my life a little bit easier with all the interlocking tiles and stuff like that to connect all the floors. So that made my life a little bit easier just leaving it. And then instead what I did was I kind of mirrored what was going on after the first floor here with the rail plates here. And instead of using the rail plates to go across, I actually went ahead and I just made this bar go across the top with 1x4 snot bricks and then some 1x1 snot bricks in there to help offset all of the plates and stuff like that. And I think this looks pretty good. I think that is nice. If you give it a nice little step back, I think that helps square it off nicely. And then as for the roof, that is probably the next thing I want to do along with the balconies, because I've been putting that off for some time now. I haven't figured out how I want to do that. That is also on my to-do list today. I want to figure that out. And then I also have the snot bricks above the doors. I don't know if that's going to be some type of crest or something, or if that's going to be an overhead light, or if that's going to connect to the bottom of the balcony of the floor above it. Haven't fully decided yet, but I think this is a pretty good start. I'm not 100% happy with this stuff up top here, but I think it looks good enough. I think it looks fine. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. I'd be pretty curious to hear what you guys think. But I'm going to keep working. I'm going to either come up with something better or just leave it for the time being. I don't want to spend all day on this just because I don't really have the time to be doing that. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to grab some plates to make the roof, and then we can design that up. And then hopefully that'll look pretty good. And then we can start to add details around the rest of the building. All right, so I've gone ahead and done both the balconies as well as the roof up top here. Starting with the balconies, what you'll notice is it's a very simple build. All it is just these pre-molded fence pieces. I would love to use these in light gray, but I just don't have any, I don't think. So I unfortunately will just have to use black for the time being, but it doesn't look terrible, I don't think. And then you'll see here that I added a 2x4 plate and then a 1x4 plate underneath the 2x4. So then that just gives it a little bit of extra thickness. And I think that looks pretty good. And then I did the same for the second, third, and fourth floors right there. And then the snot bricks here, I think I'm just going to put overhead lights. I think that makes the most sense. So I'm going to do that in just a second here. But then the roof, I need to stand up to show you guys because this building is pretty tall. But the roof here is fairly basic at the moment. It's just light gray plate and then the dark tan border around the entire edge. I have so many 1x2 plates, so I just went in and I used a bunch of those. And then this is actually not attached to the roof. This is still attached to the pillars. And I did go ahead and add the 1x rail plates on the top there just to help connect everything together. But that is pretty much everything right there. And so the exterior is pretty much done. I just need to go in and add a little bit of detail for the windowsills here, but not super worried about that right now. My main focus is the facade. And then once we get that sorted out, then we can start to figure out the other one that's going to sit across the street from it. So with all of that, I want to go in and I want to add a little bit more detail to in front of the windows here because this looks right. This looks like what I was going for with this design here, like this kind of factory industrial style. But it is fairly bland and I want to add a little bit of color to it. So I might add some foliage, or at least try to see how that goes. But that is pretty much where I'm at with it. I think this is looking really, really good. So there is a full pan of the entire thing one more time. And so with all of that done now, let's go ahead and add a little bit of foliage onto these windowsills here. And then we can basically consider we also need the lamps too. But then we can basically consider this entire exterior done. So I haven't really done much since that last clip, but this is kind of what I had in mind with adding foliage to the windows. It doesn't look that great. It looked a lot better in my head, but my idea was to have the foliage kind of hanging down over the next set of windows. And I think it works. I think it looks okay. It would look a lot better if you added more to each windowsill. As I try and take all of this off, I think it would look better if you put these clips and vines on every stud and then kind of just jam them all in there. I think that would make it look a lot better as opposed to just having like 2 or 3 things. So I think I'm just going to leave it like this for the time being because I don't have enough clips to do this whole thing. And I also don't have enough of these. I can only find 5 of them. So that is that there. But it was worth the shot, and I gave it... I had a decent idea, and it didn't work out that great. But I think in the future, if I do get a bunch of both of these pieces, then maybe I'll go in and I'll try and add them. And I also added the seaweed piece in here just to see if that works. And it kind of does, but not really. And then I just need to add the overhead lights for the balconies up at the front. And then that is pretty much everything for the building here. And then we can place this in the city to see how it looks. All right, so I have the building now in the city here once more. And so as you can see, I added the lights in. I think that looks pretty good. And so that is pretty much the entire exterior done. I am just realizing that I forgot to add doors in, but I will be doing that, don't worry. But before we end the video, I actually want to start planning the second building on this side of the street here, because I have the time and I also have the pieces. So I wanted to go in and I wanted to get that started, or at least the plan laid out, because it's basically going to be partially a mirror of this, but it's going to be a little bit different because that takes the full 32 studs and I have to do a little bit less than that because I need some room for the sidewalk. So I'm going to have to make a couple of major changes to this, but I don't think it's going to be too bad. So this building is going to stay as it is. I mean, I'm going to have to change the design when working on this building here. But let me grab a couple different types of pieces and we can see what we're working with. And then once we get this laid out, then we can actually start to get a piece count of what exactly we're going to need for each floor. And then we can kind of take it from there. All right, so this is what the apartment building looks like from the access hole. I don't believe I've ever showed this actually. So this is kind of interesting. You can also start to see the scale between the Jazz Club or the Parisian Restaurant if you have either of those in your city, and how big this is. And then what I've started doing over here across the street is starting to plan out the building that is going to go across from this. And so this is going to be built in the same style. It's going to be in dark tan with the pillars on the front. I have the jumpers laid out for that already. And so as you can see on this side here, it's going to be just 2 windows as opposed to the original building, which was 2 windows and the door / balconies in the middle. This is only going to have 2 windows. And then this side here is going to be the main entrance where it has window, door, window, just like that there. So it's going to basically take this and kind of rotate it 90 degrees going that way. And then we're going to turn this wall here into another wall with windows on it. And so I think that's going to look really, really good. I think that is going to be awesome. However, I ran out of arches. I no longer have any dark tan arches, and I'm also extremely low on 1x2 brick. I maybe have 8 or 10 left, and I have a handful of 1x4s, and then maybe like 20 1x6s. So it's not enough to get me anywhere close to completion, but I think this is a good spot to leave off because I don't have any more arches, so there's literally nothing else I could do except for maybe add a brick or 2 here. But with that being said, that is going to wrap up today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you liked the video, make sure to like it and subscribe, as well as click the bell notification so you don't miss any future uploads, like working on this second building right here. If you have any feedback for me, make sure to drop a comment down below to let me know what you think of either of these 2 buildings here. I will be going in and probably redoing this wall to add a window on it, but I'm going to wait to do that until this building goes in here because I don't know how tall this is going to be. So if the building comes up to here, then there's no point in adding a window. But if the building only comes up to about here, then I'll be sure to add a window onto that wall right there. And then once we get this building in as well, then we'll add the roof details and the things that are going to be connecting in between each of them. And so seriously, once again, thank you guys for watching, and I hope to see you next time when we get to make all of that progress. Bye for now.